Good morning. It is the 3rd of March, 2022, and this is Thursday. And what we're looking at here is Ghosts of the Jungle by Mike Lambo. I guess this is the Mike Lambo channel all day, all time now. Nah, just kind of a joke. I've had three of his three of the last 4 weeks I've had a game from Mike Lambo, and so this is going to be no different. And every one of these games I'm going to look at just because I find them interesting. And this one, I find them, the first two they put out. What was it? Dealing with Normandy, right? And British units in the Normandy landings. And now this one is just really piqued me because it's a Vietnam game, and it's a Vietnam game that you don't see very much talked about, right? So let's look at the blurb on the back. It's 3 Squadron of the Australian Special Air Force Air Service Regiment, arrived in Vietnam in June 1966. Their objectives were to undertake reconnaissance patrols and to observe enemy movement, as well as to conduct offensive missions deep in enemy territory. They often operated in groups as small as 4 and moved slowly through the thick jungle bushland. The kill ratio of the SAS was unsurpassed by any other Australian unit in Vietnam. They were feared by the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese Army, without a doubt, who referred to them as the ghosts of the jungle. In the game, it's 1966, and Sergeant Allen, together with Troopers Baker, Clark, and Dixon of the 3rd SAS Division, must undertake covert missions in the jungle of Vietnam in an area swamped by Viet Cong. Danger awaits as they face numerous enemies in difficult conditions. They will need to use stealth, tactics, and good planning to survive. Yeah, so very cool. Very cool. We're dealing with one particular Australian Special Air Service Regiment, right? SAS Regiment. And that's correct. All that, the blurb on the back there is absolutely correct. And I think it's one of those underlooked parts of Vietnam. There's a lot of underlooked parts of Vietnam. And sometimes we forget about Anzac forces in Vietnam, as well as South Korean forces in Vietnam, who, again, those South Koreans were feared too, very much so. Vietnam, kind of a strange war. It's kind of one of those wars that, if you grew up like I did, you knew a lot of people in Vietnam. Our parents, fathers in particularly, were in Vietnam, right? There's all kinds of depicted many times on screen as almost this brooding, dreaded war going on half a world away. And understandable why it's depicted that way, but yet tactically and militarily, the NVA and the Viet Cong was outclassed on the battlefield. Politically, not so much, but tactically and operationally outclassed on the battlefield. And not enough is made over Australians being in league with the Americans, right? The Australians in the United States it goes back a long way. Australian support in the United States goes back a long way, up to and including, the recent war in Afghanistan, right? So I think this is important in the sense that we're talking about something that we barely touch on. I mean, we talk about the Marines at the Battle of Way, and we talk about the Tet Offensive and all of that. But there are so many parts to that long war, that long conflict, rather. Here's the other games, by Fields of Normandy. That blew me away when I played it. Battles of Normandy. and Ghosts of the Jungle. Other books by Solitaire Wargames by Mike Lambo. I would suggest you try them all because I find them interesting. I find this very, as I do most war game designers, I find that you know, most people that play war games and so on have a lot in common, whether we know it or not. And you can tell that by the games that we play and the games that people design. So this is contents, right? All right, let's look at it a little bit. That's suggested annotations. Great stuff there. This is, and if you haven't, first time you've looked at something like this, what it is a map. In this case, mission 1, you have not hexes but squares, right? And it's meant to play with a pencil, right? It's meant to make the annotations and in a pencil and erase if you have to. And it's a very cool way to do a game in a book like this. I just think it's a very smart way to do a game. It's a very fun way to do it. And while it is meant to be, the book is meant to be written in if you lightly write with a pencil. I can't bring myself to do that. So they do talk about copying it or using minis or even coins or whatever for the map to talk about small. What we're talking about, 4 people. The movement of 4 people, right? So, yeah, the SAS, the Australian SAS certainly moved in small groups, 4 and 6 people a lot of times, but they were heavily armed, and they knew what they're doing in those jungles. And so this is very cool here. So, move all 4 SAS into tiles. This is mission 1, reconnaissance 1. Into tiles on the top row of the map, which are unoccupied by the Viet Cong. The objective is to immediately and as soon as the 4th SAS moves into the top row, but every SAS must be on a tile without a Viet Cong present on it. Okay, cool. So you're talking about a little bit reconnaissance through the rocks, all right. Rescue operation right there. Those are always fun, in my opinion. Swampland. So yeah, but that's what we're dealing with here, and it sheds a little bit of light on Australians in Vietnam, which we don't talk about nearly enough. And it's on Amazon. What is it, like $15 for the book? Well worth it, in my opinion, just because you get what do you get here? You get a game with 12 different scenarios, right? 12 different scenarios. That's well worth my time and energy to play. And one of my favorite eras is there in Vietnam. It's weird to say to some people. I think there are people who shy away from Vietnam games because it's just, I guess, too soon for them. Some people were involved in Vietnam or were really bothered by Vietnam. But a lot of us, myself included, who knew people there, and we enjoy looking at the history and playing some of the games. Not that we enjoy the outcome, or not that we enjoy, the tragedies that took place in Vietnam, because there were tragedies. But we enjoy the learning experience of it, and really and truly, there's no more I'm going to say about that. Really, but it is a testament to the soldier, if you will, the soldier, the Marine, the airman. Even it's a testament to the the enlisted man and even officer in a lot of way in service. So that's all I would say. Nice to see this. Great stuff. Talk to you soon. Y'all have a great day. Be careful out there. Bye-bye.